Dhala Thamva Jebe Dra Nobar Jebe Ge Garba Dhan Thamje Gembe Bardu Chopra Jeba Tham Jege Se Jebe Mahanam Kadang Nambe Senjen Thamje Deva Thang Den Tunga Dangre Nidra Lana Me Bayan Dabra Sobe Chanchu Rinpo Je Dobra Thangwa Jebe Dra Nopar Jebe Ke Garba Dhan Thamje Gembe Bardu Chopra Jeba Tham Jegi Se Jebe Mahanam Kada Nyampe Senjen Thamje Deva Dhan Den Dunga Dandre Nidu Lana Me Payang Tabra Sobe Chanchu Rinpo Je Dobra Thangwa Jebe Dra Nopar Jebe Ke Tarbadan Tamje Gembe Bardu Jobra Jeba Tam Jegi Su Jebe Manang Kadang Nampe Senjen Tamje Dewa Tam Den Tunga Dandre Nidu Lana Me Paya Jobe Janju Rinpo Je Dobra Nala Thangwa Jebe Dra Nobar Jebe Ge Karbada Tamje Gembe Bardu Jobra Jeba Tam Jegi Su Jebe Manang Kadang Nampe Senjen Tamje Dewa Tam Den Dunga Dandre Nidu Lana Me Paya Dabra Zobe Janju Rinpo Je Dobra De Sama Keki Bardu Lunga Yesum Kewala Ko Mashe Bardu Lunga Yesum Kewala Ko Tu Derene Sundene Ma Zanta Samji Bardu Lunga Yesum Kewala Ko Samji Jodan Soki Chonamla Chanchu Bardu Tane Kapsu Je Tage Dinsu Kebe Sanangi Drola Penche Sanje Drupra Sangye Jodang Soki Chonamla Chanchu Bardu Tani Kapsu Je Dage Dunsu Gebe Sonang Ke Drola Penche Sangye Drupra Sangye Jodang Soki Chonamla Chanchu Bardu Tani Kapsu Je Dage Dunsu Gebe Sonang Ke Drola Penche Sangye Drupra Kadang Nyampe Senjen Tamje Dewa Dewe Gindan Dembra Gyuji Tungyang Dang Tungyang Ki Gyudan Dewa Gyuji Tunga Mepe Dewa Dame Dewa Gyuji Nering Chadang Nidang Dewa Tangyang La Nebra Gyuji Nangkadang Nyampe Senjen Tamje Dewa Dewe Gindan Dembra Gyuji Tungyang Dang Tungyang Ki Gyudan Dewa Gyuji Tunga Mepe Dewa Dame Dewa Gyuji Nering Chadang Nidang Dewa Tangyang La Nebra Gyuji Nangka Dang Nyampe Senjen Tamje Dewa Dang Dewe Gindan Debra Gyuji Dungyang Dang Dungyang Ki Gyudan Dewa Gyuji Dungyang Mepe Dewa Dame Dewa Gyuji Nering Chada Nidang Dewa Tangyang La Nebra Gyuji Zhou Sun Gun De La Ma La Jiang Ju Bar De Da Kiam Ji Nyam Ta Ka Kiam Zhe Zhe Ji La Ma Sang Ye Rim Sun Jiang Zhou Sun Gun De La Ma La Jiang Ju Bar De Da Kiam Ji Nyam Ta Ka Kiam Zhe Zhe Ji La Ma Sang Ye Rim Sun Jiang Sun Kun De Lama La Chang Chu Par Du Da Kyab Chi Nyam Ta Ka Kyam Do Do Ji Lama Sang Ye Rim Sun Jiang Dang Mi Yi Zhe Be Ze Mu Shu Sham Dang Yi Gi Zhu Ji Nang Sang Wa La Me Pe Nam Ke Kang Ku Kyab Gyu Ju Namo Rana Trayaya Namo Bhagavate Vajrasara Paramadani Tathāgatāya Arahate Samya Sambuddhaya Tiyada Bhadre Bhadre Mahatejo Bhadre Mahabhidya Bhadre Mahabodhi Chitta Bhadre Mahabodhi Mando Pasankramana Bhadre Sarva Karma Avarana Vishodhana Bhadre Soha Namo Trayaya Namo Bhagavate Vajrasara Paramadane Tathāgatāya Arahate Samya Sambuddhaya Teyata Bhadre Bhadre Mahabhadre Mahadejo Bhadre Mahabhidya Bhadre Mahabodhi Chitta Bhadre Mahabodhi Mando Pasankramana Bhadre Sarva Karma Avarana Vishodhana Bhadre Soha Namorana Drayaya Namo Bhagavate Bhadrasara Pramadani Tathagataya Arahate Samya Sambuddhaya Teyada Bhadre Bhadre Mahabhadre Mahatejo Bhadre Mahabhidya Bhadre Mahabodhi Chitta Bhadre Mahabodhi Mendo Pasankramana Bhadre Sarva Karma Avarana Vishodhana Bhadre Soha Om Bhadra Argama Hong Om Bhadra Padhyanga Hong Om Bhadra Pushpe Ahong Om Bhadra Dubhe Ahong Om Bhadra Aloke Ahong Bhadra Gende Ahong Bhadra Nevede Ahong Om Bhadra Shanta Ahong Keji idam lar sewe dunkarin chintri chu i vunsere petani tenza we lama dhang yerme gyao chu jik ten sum gi gun kundo karma sempe si ji bali tri dang chu chu go shagang dang Nghe đơn du bê ca ta chu bên mar ca đô ngã đen vang shu gur kim u dun dun tin zin cha je do kir shu de la ta chu gom pe la ma dang ching tre dun gyu sir gi chen we ko dung gyab ye yong sen tre pe de de Idam la so chok sum cho song che ting pung ta te ne sum yi ke le otro rang re ye she jen drang gyu. So in the next section, in this Gurupuja practice, it's continuing from this last section that we've already explained back on Monday. It's part of the invitation. So the invitation to the wisdom beings, meaning the actual form, the actual essence, in fact, of the field of accumulation are invited to come and join inseparably with what we have visualized. So this is called the union of the Samaya Sattva and the Jnana Sattva. Jnana Sattva is translated here as the wisdom beings. It says in identical forms, so what it means is that it's identical to what you have visualized, so that the actual essence of the deities that then come, that gets invited, will come in the same form, identical to what you have visualized. So you have Kyoba Rinpoche in the center, then the light, the three lights, white light in the crown, red light in the throat, blue light in the heart. The way when they go out and invite the essence of Kyoba Rinpoche, that essence comes in the same form as the Kyoba Rinpoche that you have visualized in front. Likewise with the Idams, with the Buddhas, with the Dharma texts, with the Sangha, Bodhisattva Sangha, and the Arhat Sangha, and Dakas, Dakinis, and all the Dharma protectors. And so they will come in the form that is identical with what you have visualized. What you have visualized is called Samaya beings. They are called Samaya beings because how strong, how stable, how clear they are going to be depends on how well you keep your commitment, how well you keep your Samaya. Particularly here then is the Samaya to practice this. The Samaya to not be separated from the Guru, the Samaya to not forget the Guru. And there we're also talking about then the commitment to awaken for the benefit of all beings, for the sake of all beings, without any exception. So this is what we talk about. And this is what we mean when we talk about depends on how strong your Samaya is. It is not just simply a matter of how strong can you get your focus or your concentration to become. As I've said, people who do very negative, destructive things can also muscle up very focused concentration. But that is not the kind of concentration or focused. And that is not the kind of bring to mind and never forget that we're talking about here. This quality of not being separated, not forgetting the Guru, comes with a virtuous. So it's not a neutral concentration. It's a concentration that puts us at ease, allows us to experience the natural state of the mind. So it's a different kind of concentration. So the kind that can only be improved if we understand the notion of commitment to waking up for the benefit of all. So the end of this last section is these lights streaming out. So now they invite, and so now this invitation that we say, victorious Lord Kyopa, Lord Protector. Kyopa means protector. The victorious, the meaning, this is a title, an epithet for Buddhists. Gyawa, Jina in Sanskrit, Gyawa in Tibetan. Gyawang here means like the most powerful of the victorious ones, the most powerful of the conquerors. So victorious Lord Kyopa, endowed with the 10 powers. 10 powers are the exclusive property, so to say, of Buddhists. Buddhists have 10 powers. So meaning Lord Kyopa, who is Buddha, together with your retinue, the ocean of the 3 jewels and 3 roots, Please come here without delay. By the power of your previous aspirations and promises made out of great compassion for beings. So we're invoking, basically, invoking and reminding them of their bodhicitta. Again, it is not as if these sublime beings need us to remind them. Again, this is a skillful method, when we say, oh, please don't forget your compassion. Please don't forget your bodhicitta. It's necessary for us to express that so that we never forget why we need to look to them and how to look to them. If we look to them for other reasons, to be entertained, to be praised, to be taken care of, like the parent that we never had or the partner that we're hoping to get, if we look to them in the wrong way, then not much help, actually. So we need to know why we're looking to them and how to look to them. And then this is when we say, please, actually what we need you for is to help us achieve the very same state that you successfully achieved. This is also telling us, as part of the 7-branch puja we looked at earlier, said, even though Buddhas, the whole purpose of Buddhas appearing is to benefit others, is to teach the Dharma, nonetheless, we have to ask, we have to request. If we don't ask, if we don't request, the Dharma will not be shoved down. Will not be, shoved down our throats. Buddhas, bodhisattvas, gurus will open the door. Whether you know how to enter the door or not, it really depends on you. You have to be vigilant about seeing when certain doors are being opened. You have to take that step. So that's why it's an interdependence, It's not the case that Buddhas can yank you in, or Buddhas can shove you in, or your guru should push you in. Actually, no. Your guru, or your gurus in the plural, in fact, will open the door. And you need to recognize, oh, a door is being opened. This is an invitation to practice. And if we don't, so here in this case, when we say, oh, please come here, please don't forget your vows, please guide us, this is showing us, reminding us that even if their entire reason for existing is to guide, is to show the way, is to impart teachings, if we stop asking, then the causes and conditions dissolve. They have no reason to be around, whether around as in alive or around, in ways that you can access. Sometimes too much access to the guru, too much access to the Dharma makes us take Dharma for granted. That happens. So we think, oh, I need to, oh yeah, it will always be there. What's the difference? It's fine. I'll do it some other time. There is no some other time. As much as I talk about, and I think you have heard it, that you need to take it into your own experience. You need to recognize, which walls are paper walls and which walls are concrete walls. Whether paper wall or concrete walls, the journey is about toppling, pushing walls down to go to the other side, actually. But knowing whether it's a concrete wall or a paper wall helps us not get hurt. So then we need to know, when to push and when not to push. But at the same time, if we keep thinking, oh, play it safe, play it safe, play it safe, and then no pain, no gain as well, because you're not going, you come up against a wall and you're not going to push. You say, oh, I should not push. Then also don't forget, the great ghost of impermanence. When it comes, the great ghost of change. When it comes, it comes. No one can block it. When it comes, it comes. And when this great ghost comes, it will take you. So it's said, like, change or impermanence is like shadow. During noontime, when the sun is the furthest away, like above, it might look like the shadow is not there, shadow has disappeared. But the shadow is never gone. It's there. The shadow and your body are inseparable. It's always there. And when the right conditions are there, the shadow becomes very clear. So don't be fooled and say, oh, there are no more shadows. As long as we have bodies, we have shadows. As long as there is life, there is death. And then, of course, there are all kinds of death. Our literal death of this existence, then it's all gone. So we need to not forget that, even if, you should not burn out in your practice of the Dharma. At the same time, you should not push. Right? You need to know how much to push, and sometimes you need to be not afraid of, possibly hurting yourself a little. It's the kind of hurt that you cannot recover from, that you should avoid at all cost. Then, of course, on the practical level, it's hard to know, it's hard to tell. Again, that's when you want to reveal more to those whom you think can help you, can guide you. For that reason, there is something to be said about being able to see these guides more frequently, taking the opportunity to sort of be around them, not necessarily to like try to get their attention at all times, but the reason for being around them as much as you can, and skillfully being around them, is so that they can see your ups and downs and your flow and your stuck. And because they are not perfect nirvana kayas like Buddha Shakyamuni. So they don't manifest, they don't have the kind of power. Just one look, they know exactly what's going on and they know what to do. So then for that reason, the more you don't let your guard down, but you let them see, then the more they will be able to catch you when you need to be caught. Whether you're falling or, caught doing what will harm you, and they catch you and pull you back. Only if they are able to see that you're falling. But if you're going to be your own physician, your own pharmacist, your own therapist, then it's not that it's not possible, but then you're on your own. And so when they emphasize the necessity and the importance of having a teacher, this is part of that reason, for a very practical reason. Think in terms of like having an illness, do you want to self-diagnose and self-medicate and self-therapy? No. Can you just let other people do everything for you? No. It has to be an interdependence. You have to be determined to want to be well You have to trust and to rely on those whom you think can help you become well. And so in that sense, you let them see who you are. So there are some among you who will write me because you think perhaps maybe I can be of some help. And one person in particular, kind of very skillful, will write and basically say, I don't need an answer because I'm not looking for any answers. But just, to keep you in the picture. So this is a way of saying, so that if I fall, then I hope you'll be able to catch that I'm falling and you can catch me. Of course, the person didn't say it that way, but essentially, these updates that I get, it's basically, it always ends with, no response needed, So this is, again, one I would say one example of how if practically you cannot be physically in the kind of radar of your guides, you can keep them up to date. You might ask a question, and assuming that the question was received, and the teacher may or may not have specific answers. And in that sense, you kind of have to trust that process. But of course, that trust also needs to be confirmed. So you need to do what you need to do with whoever it is that you're training with to slowly develop that. Slowly is the key word, so that you don't have unrealistic and in fact erroneous expectations, and so that you can see that this is really what's going to be helpful. So back here, like we do this, we say, oh, please come, oh, please don't forget your vows, or don't forget your commitments, come here and bless me, all of that. And so you might do this practice, every day, but then if it doesn't carry over to how then we should understand, oh, this is how we should relate to our guides, then not so much benefit. So it says that the meditation session needs to impact the post-meditation section. The post-meditation sessions, you need to make choices that will support the strengthening of your meditation sessions. And so in that way, they become more seamless. They're joined together in a better way. So these practices, without thinking too much about them when you're doing them, you should let the words kind of affect you naturally. So don't think too much either. Have an awareness, have an understanding, what you are chanting, what you are saying. Then over time, it will do what it can do. Again, if you allow it. Yeah. So in this section, then it says, please be seated with a joyful countenance on this lion throne with lotus and moon, with bodies as numerous as dust motes. I prostrate to the embodiment of inconceivable qualities. And so here, in fact, it says, you should imagine, you should think of yourself as not just having this one body, paying homage and making offerings to Kyoba Rinpoche, but you should think yourself as having manifested as numerous as dust motes. Again, here it's a vision of the expansiveness of reality, the expansiveness of everything, so that you're not limited to just I, me, mine. But you want to be able to see yourself, manifesting as many as dust motes. This also has a connotation of completeness. So it's a way of communicating that the entirety of who you are, represented by every dust mote of you, are completely, thoroughly, completely, without exception, paying homage. Paying homage is also a way of expressing admiration and attraction to those qualities that we're paying homage to. Embodiment of inconceivable qualities. So it's the qualities that matters. It's not the person. Not that we should abuse the person, but our focus on the person is because the person has actualized those qualities. And so when we say, may I become like you, a lot of these prayers say things like that. May I become like you. It's not saying, may I become, may I pick up your habits. May I pick up your food preferences. May I pick up your sense of taste. May I pick up your sense of design. May I pick up even your politics. No. We're talking about, may I become you, as in may I embody, may I also realize those qualities that exist in myself, but now they are hidden. As to what the qualities are, as to what they are, then of course, we say wisdom and compassion. What kind of wisdom? What kind of compassion? There are many places to read about that. There are many places to study that, all the details. So such as the 10 powers, you can look that up and get an understanding of what are these powers that we're talking about. Of course, sometimes when we read these powers, these qualities, it sounds so far from us. And again, don't let that kind of discourage you or make it seem like, oh, this is so far-fetched. Actually, if we know how to read those qualities, if we know how to read those qualities, if we know how to see what this is saying, we can see that this is far and yet not so far. Then following these two stanzas, these words, then the mantra part. The mantra part is basically first you use words to express what you just expressed. Now you use a very concise way. You use mantra to do what those words was saying. So Bedra Samaja, the mudra is like this. This is to invite, which is what we just said. Victorious Lord Kyopa, please come here without delay. So this is Bedra Samaja. Then when it says, please be seated with a joyful countenance, that is Pema Kammalaye Satam. Bedra Samaja Pema Kammalaye Satam. And this is to offer a seat, a padma seat, a lotus seat, you offer. So Bedra Samaja is please come. Pema Kammalaye Satam. Satam is, so Pema Kammalaye Satam is to offer a seat. Please be seated joyfully. Ati Puho is the joyfully. Ati Puho. Then Praticha Ho. Ati Puho Praticha Ho is to kind of pay homage and to make offerings. So those mantras there is repeating what those words there are saying. So now we chant these words here. Chu xiang a gia wang gyo ba je, chuk sum za sum gia zu go dam je, ngom mun dam je du yi ge jig la, dro la je se ne de she du go, dong ye tri dam zu ge kun pen ten, tuk sang ge be gar gi ten par shu, Sam ye yon ten pung po da ni la shing du zhan ya lu ki cha ge o madra za ma ja pe ma kam ma la ye stang a ti pu ho pra ti zo ho. The next three sections are making different offerings. So first is the 8 offerings that are offered. So it says here, I offer oceans of realms filled with water for drinking, that's argyam, water for washing feet, padyam, then pushpe, flowers, dupe, incense, aloke, light, gande, perfume, niviri, food, shapta, sound or music. The perfume that they're talking about here is not exactly the way we think of perfume. I would say it's a cross between perfume, as in it smells good, but more importantly, really, it's like a type of lotion or a kind of balm to cool down the body. The context of India is that it's a very hot place. So when you give this guest these what's called gende, gende is like scented, literally scented offering. But really, again, it's not so much about smells, because that's done with the incense already. And the incense offering is an offering to the sense of smell. And this one it's really more like a spa treatment, a spa lotion to cool the body down, especially. So they are sometimes said to be made from sandalwood powder and made into a paste that is then, lightly applied. So you could say even to, remove dead skin, to cool down the body. Sandalwood is said to have a cooling effect. So ground sandalwood powder, very fine, mixed with water, is then applied. So that's what this gende is about. So then again, we make the offering first with the words of the stanza, then with the mantra. So the mantra here, Om, Gurupuja Ratna. So the jewel of the guru, who is like Buddha. Saparivara is retinue. So to the Guru Buddha, the precious Guru Buddha, Gurupuja Ratna, and retinue, you offer argyam, padyam, pushpam, dupam, aloke, gende, navede, shapta, pratitya swaha. So please accept, please receive these 8 offerings. The next set of offerings, as the heading tells us,
They are the offering of the five sense pleasures. So any kind of object of the senses, sight, sound, smell, taste, touch, that delights the five sense pleasures, we offer them. This is also a very skillful way for us to enjoy the sense pleasures without getting trapped, without getting stuck, without getting hooked. Basically, when you come right down to it, Buddha has nothing against enjoyment. Buddha has nothing against fun, so to say. I say sometimes we feel like, not just Buddhism, but all the religions, is basically some perverse anti-joy, anti-fun cult, It's like any religion, anything that is fun, anything that is pleasurable, you can guarantee they will tell you it's good, it's bad. You should not have it. It's not that, it's that it's really more about when you do enjoy things that you label as pleasurable, as desirable, the tendency then is to fixate on that, and that fixation will bring a lot of pain, because quite naturally, whatever the pleasure that you are experiencing, it's going to go away. Go away in the sense of like, it stops giving you the kind of pleasure, and that's one way of going away. Another going away is the more obvious going away. You have no access to it anymore. But even if you have unlimited access to it, it will stop delivering, right, the pleasure sense that it used to deliver. And this is how addictive drugs become addictive. You are looking for a more pleasurable experience and a more pleasurable experience. Then inevitably you have to come down from this high, and ordinary, existence becomes unbearable. And this is the problem with pleasure. So here it says, you mentally gather the five sense pleasures pleasing to the senses, and you offer them. So in this understanding then, rather than feeling like you need to run away from the experience of pleasure, here it's also not saying that you should, become enslaved to the chasing of pleasures. But the middle path beyond the both two extremes is that whenever pleasant, pleasurable, joyful experiences arise, you let them arise, you enjoy them. But in that moment, you want to think of offering to the Guru. The relative Guru is, you would say, oh, I hope, she will also get to enjoy this. So that's one way, one good way to keep connection. When you experience something pleasurable, good, desirable, you think, oh, may my Guru, may she also experience this. That's the relative level. The ultimate level of offering to the Guru actually means wisdom. So that in the midst, when this happy thing that is going on, this pleasant thing that you're experiencing, you immediately recognize that it's appearing vividly, and yet it lacks essence. It lacks essence, and yet it appears vividly. Then you have a glimpse of nature, reality. That's called offering your sense experiences to the Guru. That's what it means to offer to the ultimate Guru your sense experiences, your sense pleasures. It's to see the fundamental nature of what is being experienced. Even as the appearances arise, you're not deceived by the appearances, but neither in seeing the essence, the fundamental nature, it doesn't have to cancel out the appearance aspect. And so both the appearance aspect and the existence aspect, they do not obstruct each other, they do not fight each other, so you can completely relate to all your experiences in a way that doesn't trap you, in a way that doesn't bring suffering. That is the meaning of offering the 5 sense pleasures, pleasing to the senses, to the Guru. Then the 7 treasures. These are 7 treasures that a universal monarch is said to own. So this is ancient Indian kind of symbolism, like a universal king. Here you could say is the equivalent of having mastered all of samsara and nirvana. So you are victorious, you are sovereign over all appearances. So then you possess these 7 symbols, 7 treasures that symbolizes your sovereignty. So this is talking about, offer, seek the freedom of a true king, which is a Buddha. And in that sense, you offer. The 8 auspicious symbols, those often, in tankas, they're painted, or brocade hangings, you have the 8 auspicious symbols, and the meaning of those symbols, you can look that up fairly easily. And the 8 substances, here are the 8 good substances. These are sort of medicinal, things with medicinal properties. It's like yogurt, bilwa fruit, a type of medicinal fruit. Let's see, not yogurt, curd, more specifically. Bilwa fruit, and I think giyong, a particular type of medicine. So there are 8 of these things. And I think kusha grass. So they basically are the supports of a healthy body. So all these, it says you mentally gather them, you mentally think of all. And so now, like maybe these symbols are a little bit abstract for you. Then at this point, you just mentally gather all the things that are good and all the conditions that you habitually label as good and desirable, like going to the beach, or these days, just being able to go out and do whatever you want, all that, you gather all of that mentally, and you say, I offer this to the Guru. Please accept this. Yeah. Then the third offering is the offering of mandala. I offer you the mandala of the billion-fold universes in all the 10 directions, laid out in groups. And so that means not only one universe, but a billion-fold of these universes. Each of them, having a Mount Meru, 4 continents, islands, sun and moon, all of that, I offer this to. So again, a vision of infinite unendingness. All this we offer. We offer to the Guru so that in exchange, so to say, the Buddhahood can be accomplished, can be achieved. So these are the three offerings in this next section. Shinkam gyatso jo yon shab zil dang ju ge du be trin dang mar me trin ri jo sha je nian yang ro mo je nam ge kang kun kang te da ge bu om guru buddharana sabare vara argampati jaso ha om guru buddharana sabare vara padyam pade jaso ha om guru buddharana sabare vara pushpe prade jaso ha om guru buddharana sabare vara dupe prade jaso om guru buddharana sabare vara aloke prade jaso om guru buddharana sabare vara gende prade jaso om guru buddharana sabare vara nevedya prade jaso
Om Guru Buddha Dana Sabare Vara Shabda Pratija So. Yibonde beyunde nambanga gyalpo sila operin jintun Chashi tadang zege la zoba dalo langte gyawang Tongsun Churjin Nurzin Mandala Re Rabrin Ling Dang Lin Ten Sum Putam Na So Do Yun Du Men Ye Ze Pa Bu Gi She La Ngu Du Du Zu. The next section, the seventh branch, that, the other day I already explained. So to quickly kind of, remember, right? Those seven branches, the seven elements is first to pay homage with body, speech, and mind, to make offerings, to confess, to expose all wrongdoing, then to rejoice in the merit and the virtue that we see in others, to request the Guru to turn the Dharma wheel, to request the Guru to not depart from us, and then finally to dedicate the merit. So these are the seven. Dusum Deje Gundu Lama La Gusum Ram Gudang We Chak Se Shing Chi Nang Sang Sum Chu Trin Kya Tsu Chu Duk Sum Ki Ke Dik Tong So Sur Sha Sang Sum Se Be Pula Je Yi Rang Tek Sum Chu Ki Kor Lo Kor Wadang Dorje Sumgi Ngobo So She So Kor Sum Namda Ge So Gya So Kun Gu Sum Go Pang La Me To Je Next is a praise. Praise to Gilbert Rinpoche, precious Guru, supreme refuge, worthy of homage, embodiment of the victorious ones of infinite directions and times, embodiment of the ocean of all qualities. I pay homage and offer praise with 100,000 melodies. So just a beautiful praise. Then we do the mantra. So here, as when we chant the mantra, there's no very specific visualization that is given. So you can do a number of things actually. You can kind of do any of these several things that you can do during the mantra recitation. One is to simply rest in the sound of the mantra as you chant. Listen
listen to your own chanting of the mantra. Just listen to those sounds and feel like those sounds, right? The sound is the form of Kyopa Rinpoche in the form of sound. Okay? The mantra is the way that Kyopa Rinpoche and all the qualities associated with Kyopa Rinpoche manifest as sound. And you can feel the sound, kind of entering you. And that sound is vibration, yeah? And so that vibration vibrates with and mixed together with your life energy. And so that's one way to just feel those that coming. And then we talk a lot about, blessing. What do we mean by blessing? So whether it's these sounds, dissolving into you and vibrating on the energetic level, or you can think, light coming from Kyopa Rinpoche, more specifically, white light to your forehead, red light to your throat, blue light to your heart. And later we again do this empowerment. But even now during the mantra recitation, you can see that 3 rays of light and the 4th one to the navel, those light coming. And that's another thing that you can do. And then you can also see this light, this sound, going out to everything and everywhere, both the animate and inanimate world all around, so that it's doing the same thing for all beings. You can also do that. Now, then we keep talking about, being blessed, getting blessing, getting blessing, getting blessing. What do we mean? Right now, one meaning of that is when you receive those blessings will immediately free you from being dragged around by your thoughts and by your emotions. Those blessings immediately, we could say poetically, it says, it dispels or it blasts away or it dissolves, all conceptual thoughts. I think there's a danger in trying to practice what it means, to dissolve all conceptual thoughts by simply blanking our mind. And we think, all conceptual thoughts are gone. I think there's a danger of committing that misunderstanding and think that the dissolution of conceptual thoughts is simply keeping the mind empty, not think anything. And often that kind of empty is dull. It's dull, it's dead. So here is better to understand that the dispelling of conceptual thoughts means to not be dragged around by thoughts and emotions, to no longer be stuck in this unending loop of feedback of this conceptual mind. So what it connotes, what it indicates is you're no longer stuck, you're no longer trapped, you are free. You're free from the power that thoughts and emotions used to have or habitually have over you. At least right now you have to think, it's okay. They can come and go. They have no power over me. I do not feed them. I do not chase them away. I do not invite them here. Neither do I want to send them away. They want to stay, they can stay. They want to go, they can go. And you can have that attitude because you understand that substantially there is nothing there. But appearance-wise, it's vividly there, only as an appearance. Like the projections of a movie onto a screen, like the dreams that we experience when we go to sleep, vividly they arise, but substantially, they have no power. They don't exist. So that's the meaning of receiving blessings. So even as these blessings, we imagine it coming, we feel it coming, whether as in the form of sound and vibration of sound or light and, the spectrum of light, different colors, all of that. Important thing is like they're pointing to not being under the power of emotions, not being under the power of thoughts. So that's how we should. That's how we should be kind of practicing at this point. Chao kyam ki chu gyur lama je rab jam chu du gya wa ji su yon den gya zu rang xing nye ne yam ki yeng la bung gi to cha tsu. Om Namo Guru Benzade Logya Dharana Shri Mula Guru Mahamudra Siddhi Pala. Om Namo Guru Benzade Logya Dharana Shri Mula Guru Mahamudra Siddhi Pala. Om Namo Guru Benzade Logya Dharana Shri Mula Guru Mahamudra Siddhi Pala. Om Namo Guru Benzade Logya Dharana Shri Mula Guru Mahamudra Siddhi Pala. Om Namo Guru Benzade Logya Dharana Shri Mula Guru Mahamudra Siddhi Pala. Om Namo Guru Benzade Logya Dharana Shri Mula Guru Mahamudra Siddhi Pala. Om Namo Guru Benzade Logya Dharana Shri Mula Guru Mahamudra Siddhi Pala. Om Namo Guru Benzade Logya Dharana Shri Mula Guru Mahamudra Siddhi Pala. Om Namo Guru Benzade Logya Dharana Shri Mula Guru Mahamudra Siddhi Pala. Om Namo Guru Benzade Logya Dharana Shri Mula Guru Mahamudra Siddhi Pala. Om Namo Guru Bazalika Dela Guru Mahamudra Siddhi Pala. Om Namo Guru Bazalika Dela Om Namo Guru Bazalika Dela Guru Mahamudra Siddhi Pala. Om Namo Guru Bazalika Dela Guru Mahamudra Siddhi Pala.
Umma nama guru basa de kate loga na dana shri mala guru Muhammad azza de bala umma nama guru basa de kate loga na dana guru Muhammad azza de bala umma nama guru basa de kate umma nama guru basa de kate loga na dana guru Muhammad azza de bala umma nama guru basa de kate umma nama guru basa de kate loga na dana guru Muhammad azza de bala umma nama guru basa de kate loga na dana guru Muhammad azza de bala umma nama guru basa de kate loga na dana guru Muhammad azza de bala umma nama guru basa de kate umma nama guru basa de kate loga na dana guru Muhammad azza de bala umma nama guru basa de kate loga na dana guru Muhammad azza de bala Anamo Guru Bezadeka de Loganata. Guru Mahamudra Siddhi Pala. Om Namo Guru Bezadeka Lojanadharana Shri Mula Guru Mahamudra Siddhi Pala. 주주드승겨와 탐지기 구승투기 오진라베 사슴주베 겸군라나 श्री 엽세규 버젤라소와데 루주구동바라 일로 속소롱구동바라진지로 Semni chuku to prajinjilo sejik sangye to prajinjilo Shiso tabe korzo la martin la metude tuka dewane Karma dingsir ojo dani ki nishirtim pedrim shidrim daching Wang Shi Lek Tong Gu Shi Sa Ben Tun Tar Ni Lama O Pung Rang Xin Du Gyu Ne Rang Tun La Me Sang Su Da Rang Gi Go Sun Nyam Pa Chen Po Gyu Di tara pe den lama lem gum shin jo do so deb gi pe ge tso gi kang sum kor wa ne pe du gun ji kor de yong ki lama top jir gong dong a tek pe shin ta nam sum she drin chen lama kyu pe tsok nam gi 상순 연텐 구이 계지근 그제약 첸총고 주배 저시쇼
we'll take a very quick break and then we will start Gongqing.